Man, I tell you what, people are sleeping on Buster Blader. It is so good. You have your Buster Whelp, which searches your trap, and if you can find a way to get your Buster Whelp out and resolve it, you can go into Red Eyes packages, it has Eldlich packages, it has all kinds of different packages that you can build with Dogmatika, and you get your buddies right here, your Destruction Sword and your Buster Whelp, and it's a lockdown crackdown. So I'm excited to show you my version of what I see as the Buster Blader version that works. It's not as bricky as the ones I've seen online, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So let's check it out.
House of Cards. TCG.
Alright guys, let's dive into this deck profile so you can see what my build of Buster Blader looks like. We're going to start with the two Buster Bladers, the Destruction Swordsman. So obviously you need these to go into your combo piece. You're going to send that off of memories, which is going to be the play there. Then we're going to run 3 of your Buster Whelp. So Buster Whelp's job obviously is just going to be to normal summon it and then search your prologue. Now keep in mind, if you special summon Buster Whelp, then you do not get the search effect. So you want to make sure that you normal summon it. And this is more of a level 1 build for me. I run the 1 Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. So what this one does is if it's in the grave and you summon Buster Dragon, you can equip a Buster Blader with this card and it locks you out of the extra deck. So Dragon Buster Destruction Sword is a really good card. And I'm going to show you how, if we have it, we're going to search. It's not mandatory. Like, people think that with the unbanning of this card, it was mandatory in the Buster builds. It's really just kind of like almost an extender for the deck. It's not a mandatory play. So we have 3 Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. This card is what's going to enable you to summon a Buster Dragon and then send memories and a Buster Blader to the grave, chain memories, and that's how you get the Buster lock. So speaking of, we do play the 2 memories. You hate to see it in your hand, but your job is to go ahead and send that off of your prologue, and then prologue, or you're gonna chain memories to prologue, and what that does is bring out your Buster Blader, your Fusion Buster Blader, as well as your Buster Dragon. Now, when you draw these to kind of keep track of it, so you don't always have to read, this one has the Buster Dragon on it. So this one is the one that summoned your Buster Dragon. Memories is the one that brings out your Fusion. So that's just kind of a way that I always look at it and remember which one is which, because it is a simultaneous, not simultaneous, but it's a chain effect that happens. So that's the Buster package that I play in here. To go into the Dogmatika, we play 3 Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant, obviously you're going to send from your extra deck and search Ecclesia. This also searches from the graveyard. So because of that, we only run a small package, which is 1 Ecclesia and 1 Knight, Fleur-de-Lis. So that's really all I play in this build. It's kind of just an extra oomph in the deck, but it's a small package, and just go with the 1 Punishment because we are limited on the extra deck. So because of that, I only play 1 Punishment. For the Red Eyes package, I play 1 Fusion with 1 Red Eyes and 1 Dark Magician. And of course, you know what those do. That brings out your Dragoon. For extenders, my favorite extender in this deck, 3 Jester Confit. So what he does is you can't control 2, and it's an inherit summon. He just summons himself, and it's not an activated effect, which is why I choose not to play Adahara, because Adahara, you have to activate his effect to special summon. Jester just summons himself, so that way you're not susceptible to Gamma or anything like that. And then I play 3 Where Art Thou. So there's another level 1 in here which I'm going to show you. But Where Art Thou, obviously that goes in with your Jester. Your Buster Whelps are level 1. Your Destruction Sword is level 1. So as long as you can get one of these, you can extend. And the goal is to get 2 level 1s out. And then you can go into Anaconda. And that's what this build is built around. The reason why I like that build better is because with Insight and with the Red Eyes, I just don't like playing the brick, which is 3 Red Eyes Fusion and all the Red Eyes Insight. They almost seem like brick cards once you draw them after they've done their purpose. And the other thing too is I understand, yes, you can Ash or you can Imperm or you can Gamma Anaconda, but everybody's playing Ash. And it takes, if you Ash Red Eyes Fusion by card playing it, that is your turn. You have nothing on there. And if you don't have a prologue or a dragon engrave, well, you're in a lot of trouble with this board. So that's why I prefer to go with this route, which is this build. With this, we play 3 Trap Trick. Trap Trick can search you any of your traps. It can search you your prologue. It can search you out. I play Imperm, and there's another tech card in here. So Trap Trick is a really good card to get out those cards for you. And then also, side note with Trap Trick is after you activate Trap Trick, you can only activate 1 trap after that. So keep that in mind when you're running different traps and timing it right. I play 1 Instant Fusion because Millenniumize is a good card to negate hand traps, and it's also a level 1. So if you have Instant Fusion and a Where Art Thou, you can summon Millenniumize, Where Art Thou, get your Buster Whelp. Now I'm going to show you that in the combo portion. 1 Called By, again for hand traps. Run 2 Imperms, can be searched off Trap Trick, and it's a good hand trap. Now that VFD is gone, Imperm is back. And a tech card here is Red Rain. Red Rain, what that does is it can be searched off Trap Trick, and it makes it protects you against Droplet, and it protects you against Dark Ruler, which this deck really loses hard to. So if you can get Red Rain and you have Dragoon level 8, Buster Dragon level 8, the Buster Blader Fusion level 8, all your monsters are safe and unaffected by the opponent's card effects. So Red Rain, great tech card, and it's great protection against Dark Ruler and Forbidden Droplet. I play 3 Pot of Prosperity because there is room in the extra deck. I typically choose to banish 3 and find what my missing pieces is. This is also a great way to bait out Ash. It's a great way to bait out some other hand traps. So I do play 3 Pot of Prosperity. And then for the random card that it's just kind of insane, I'm bringing it back. 3 Effect Veiler. The reason why I play Effect Veiler, okay? Effect Veiler can be searched off Where Art Thou, so if you have it, as well as Effect Veiler is a tuner. So your Buster Whelp's a tuner, and you can make your Buster Dragon and Buster Whelp into a hot red, but also if you have Effect Veiler and you did not use as effect, that is an extender that you can then summon Effect Veiler, go into hot red, and it keeps a negate because it's a level 1, it's searchable in this deck, and as well as it being searchable in this deck, it is a tuner that allows you to go off and kind of, because your Buster Dragon is destroyed at the end of your next turn if it's summoned off Prologue. So a lot of times I find myself struggling to get Buster Dragon into something there, and with the Dogmatika package locking you out of extra deck. So I think Effect Veiler is great in this card and in this deck, and it works very well. So for the extra deck, 1 Millenniumize, it's a great card. And then we have Link Karibo, which is going to link off your level 1s if you need to go in. So if you open 2 Jesters and you need to get into Anaconda, you can summon 1 Jester, link off for Link Karibo, summon the other Jester because now you don't control 2 and it's not once per turn. Then you can link those 2 off into Anaconda to go for Dragoon. We play 2 Buster Dragons, which turns all your opponent's monsters into dragons. 2 Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, which then negates their effects. Their activated effects, you should keep that in mind, so they can't activate effects, and switches them to defense. Hot red to get your Buster Dragon off before it gets destroyed. You're going to use Buster Dragon and a level 1 tuner to go into that. We have the Anaconda and the Dragoon, which is obviously for your Dragoon plays. Then we have Ash Dragon, which is for, you're going to send off Nadir Servant to search an Ecclesia or Fleur de Lis. Entis, which is 2 pops, which does play very well. We have a Phoenix, a Unicorn for back row and card removal, access code for OTK, and Black Luster Soldier is kind of my tech here. The other thing I thought about adding in, which didn't really work very well, was a Lyrilisk and a Zeus, since we do play level 1s. That was kind of on my radar. If we're going second, I could then play 2 level 1s, go into Lyrilisk, and then go into Zeus, but I think that this one plays a little bit better. And then for the side deck. So the side deck is a little weird. I'm still testing it, still trying to figure it out. But we got Dark Ruler no more for going second, obviously. We got Nibiru for the combo decks. We got Lancia because it hits just so much right now. Lightning Storms and a Harpies for monster removal and back row removal. Obviously, going second, this deck does struggle, so going second, we want to make sure we have enough cards in here to destroy that. And then I have Droll and Lockbird. And why I have Droll and Lockbird? Well, it's simple. Again, it is searchable off of Where Art Thou. So you can actually search Droll and Lockbird off Where Art Thou. And if your opponent is playing something that loses heavy to Droll, well, you can search it. So there is the side deck. Now let's get into some combos. All right, guys, let's get into our combos so you can kind of see how well this deck plays, how consistent it is, and kind of what your boards are going to look like and what you want to see here. So we're going to go first on this hand. We're going to draw 5, which is great if we can open another level 1. Prologue, you love to see it. You love to see it just in your main hand. A second Prologue, an instant fusion, and a Nadir Servant. So I can already tell that this is going to be a great hand to open up, actually. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to activate instant fusion. That's going to bring out our Millennium Eyes. Now that already gives us protection, which is insane. So that is a good start there. The next thing we're going to activate is Where Art Thou? Where Art Thou is going to add to our hand any of our level 1s. So we could go Jester, we could go Buster Whelp. I think because we have Nadir Servant. So off Nadir Servant, we're going to send Ash Dragon. And Ash is going to add us our Fleur-de-Lis. So we can banish Ash. So I think what move I'm going to make here, and given that we have 2 Prologues, I'm going to go for the Buster Lock here. So you could grab a Veiler. You could grab any of those cards. So let's go ahead and grab our Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Now what Where Art Thou says is if I don't normal summon this card, then I'll pay 2,000 life points. So the good thing, make sure it says 2,000. Yeah, 2,000 damage. So the good thing is we're going to normal summon. We don't need to activate any effects because we have 2 Prologues here. We are going to go ahead and link those 2 off into our Anaconda. Now Anaconda is going to activate. We're going to our Anaconda activates pay 2,000. We are going to send our Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, Red Eyes, and Red Eyes Fusion to the grave, which already now we have a dragon to banish for Prologue. So right there we have a great combo. Just going to bring out our Dragoon. Now what we could do is we can save Nadir Servant, or we can go ahead and activate it just for purposes. So you can see kind of what this is looking like. We'll send Ash Dragon, which gives us another dragon to use. Nadir Servant's going to add us Ecclesia to hand for follow-up. So we add Ecclesia. And then we're going to set Prologue. And we're going to pass. End phase Ash Dragon is going to add us Fleur-de-Lis to hand. Because we can't special summon our Ecclesia because of Anaconda. So this is what our board looks like. And you're like, oh, that's really not that good. It's actually really good because what we're going to do here is on our opponent's turn, standby main, we're going to activate Prologue. Prologue is going to summon our Buster Dragon by sending our Destruction Sword Memories. And it's going to send our Buster Blader to the grave. Now we're going to chain Memories by banishing it. Banishing Buster Blader. And we can banish Ash Dragon. We can banish Red Eyes. It really doesn't matter. So let's just use Red Eyes because that's the whole purpose of going into Anaconda. And then what that summons out is our Buster Blader and our Buster Dragon. So what we're sitting on right now, and then activate Buster Dragon's effect, targeting this Buster Blader because we used our Destruction Swordsman. And we're going to go ahead and equip that there. Now, what we have here is really good. So we have a Dragoon Negate. We have a Buster Dragon and Buster Blader. So what that does is that negates the activated effects of monsters, which if they summon it, it immediately goes into defense and it cannot activate its effects. As well as we have the extra deck lock. And then for follow-up, we have Ecclesia, Fleur-de-Lis, and another Prologue. So if they break our board, next turn we're going for another Buster set because we have Ash Dragon, and we'll have the Dragon Destruction Sword back in the grave and all that. So let's say our opponent did not do anything. Maybe they summoned a monster on the other end, but we basically locked them out here. So for finish up, we draw an Effect Veiler, which is awesome. Effect Veiler. So what this does is that you're going to special summon itself, and you can switch this to attack, switch this to attack, and simply all you got to do really is go fleur-de-lis and you can attack. But just for purposes here, so with these two, you're gonna make a hot red. This is follow-up, say that you don't have OTK. Those two are gonna make hot red, which that is a negate, and you have Buster Blader, Anaconda, and plenty of follow-up. I mean, you could even special summon Ecclesia, not activate effect, right? And then you can link these two off for a unicorn. And then you can special summon Knight, not an activated effect. And if you wanted to, you could even link these two off because he can't attack directly for an access code, activating effect, gaining 3,000. So you have 5,300, 3,000, 3,200, and 3,000 if he didn't negate. Just a broken board with still a prologue for follow-up and an effect veiler for next turn. So that's what this deck does. Let's go into one more test hand so I can kind of show you what a different opening might look like. All right, so test hand 2. We'll assume that we're going first again on this one and see if we can do that board again. Really, that's what you're looking for. So drawing 5, Pot of Prosperity. We did hard draw the Red Eyes Fusion, which isn't terrible. I have Prologue, which is great, and a Nadir Servant. So this could turn out to be pretty good here. All right, let's see what we can resolve here. So I think the first thing that I would do is probably activate Prosperity, try to bait an Ash. We'll just go ahead and I'm gonna do it face up. I know it's face down, but we'll go ahead and send Buster Blader. We don't have a Link 1. We could send Link Karibo. I don't like to send Link Karibo. We can send out our Phoenix, wherever he's at, Phoenix. And we could send one of our Entis if we wanted to, or we could send our Millennium Eyes, because either one of those works. We're just gonna go ahead and send Millennium Eyes. If they didn't Ash us there because they don't have it, Where Art Thou, Red Rain, and another Where Art Thou. So we have Prologue and we have that. I would probably go ahead and grab Red Rain here, and we're gonna shuffle those two back. I didn't go for Where Art Thou because we don't have a level 1 that we're gonna open up. Now we can go ahead and play Red Eyes Fusion. Red Eyes Fusion is gonna send our Red Eyes and Dark Magician to the grave. And that's gonna special us out, you guessed it, our Red Eyes Dragoon. Put him right there. Now what we could do is we could use Nadir Servant. We're gonna send Ash Dragon. We obviously can't summon, and if Red Eyes Fusion did get Ash, you had Nadir Servant to send the Ash Dragon, so that's really good. Either way, you're getting a dragon in the grave. That's gonna search us an Ecclesia. So add Ecclesia to hand, and then we have follow-up here. So we're gonna set these 3. We're gonna leave Ecclesia in our hand. Ash Dragon on end phase is then gonna search us our Knight. So we can discard one of these 2 off of Dragoon. And then basically, this is gonna be really good because you're gonna be able to see how this works. So on the opponent's main phase, we're gonna go ahead and activate Prologue. Prologue is going to send our Memories, and it's gonna send a Buster Blader to the grave. We're gonna chain Memories to that, banishing Buster Blader, and we can banish Red Eyes or we can banish Ash Dragon, and then that is gonna bring us back out the Buster Lock. Now let's say, okay, your opponent decides to play Dark Ruler and we can't respond with monster effects. That's why we play Red Rain. So these are all level 8s. Now they are unaffected. You can see it right here. If you control level 8 or higher synchro, banish all monsters on the field except the monsters with the highest level. The remaining face-up monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects except for their own. So now you can't do anything with this. Go ahead and play your part. And then for follow-up, we still have this. Let's see what we draw into. And keep in mind, we have a Trap Trick set. So we can, on end of main phase, we can Trap Trick. And what I'm gonna play with Trap Trick is I would actually grab Banish 1 Prologue, and I'm gonna set another Prologue. That is just follow-up. If I can't OTK my opponent, I'm getting them back into the Buster Lock here. So really what we're looking for is one of our level 1 tuners to link off of or to synchro off of our Buster Dragon, because he is destroyed at the end of our turn. And that's if we can't finish off our opponent. So we grab another Nadir Servant. So this is going to actually be really good, because what we're going to be able to do, let's say if our opponent does not have anything or whatever they may have set, we can activate Ecclesia to special summon itself. Now we can link these two off into, we banished our Phoenix, so we can just go into Anaconda. We don't have to activate effect. Then we can activate our Fleur-de-Lis to summon itself. We can link these off for Unicorn. And then we can even link these off to go into our access code, gaining 3,000. Now we have OTK right here, and we have 2 pops with Dragoon, 1, 2 more pops with access code. And then for follow-up, Nadir Servant, we can send an Intis. Intis is gonna pop another card on their field, and then all we're gonna do is add Ecclesia back to hand for follow-up on the next turn. And Ecclesia can grab us our punishment, or we could have grabbed Fleur-de-Lis for follow-up, and we have a prologue set for next turn. So really broken deck, and you didn't have to go through all that with access code. You could have left Fleur-de-Lis, Ecclesia, Buster Dragon, and the Fusion Buster Blader, and that's plenty to hit for game there. I was just showing you the different combo. So yeah, really broken deck, busted. I love playing this, and it does very well for me. So let me know what you guys think. This is kind of my updated version of Buster Blader and what I like to run with it. Again, a limited Red Eyes package, but a heavy hitting deck for sure. Built on level 1s is really what the deck is meant for. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And this has been Tyler with House of Cards TCG, signing out.